The sound of the glass shattering against the kitchen floor wasn't the loudest thing in the room. It was her words that pierced through me, sharp and final. Even my ex never made me feel this unappreciated. I froze, my hand still gripping the wine bottle I'd bought for our anniversary. The words hung between us, poisonous and irreversible. Her face flushed, lips trembling, eyes widening as if she hadn't meant for them to escape. But they had. And they hit harder than any slap could. The silence afterward felt endless. I heard only the ticking of the wall clock and the faint hum of the refrigerator. My chest felt hollow. My pulse thudded in my ears. "Say that again," I whispered, not sure if I even wanted to hear it. "I didn't mean it like that," she said quickly, wiping her hands on the dish towel, avoiding my eyes. "I was just angry." I put the bottle on the counter. "So you compare me to him when you're angry?" She looked at me, and for a split second I saw it, guilt. Not the kind that comes from a bad argument, but the kind that hides a secret. Her lips pressed together. I feel invisible lately. You don't notice me anymore." I stared at her, confusion tangled with disbelief. Invisible? I rearranged my schedule to be home early every night this week. I canceled a work trip because you said we needed time. What more do you want? She exhaled sharply, crossing her arms. It's not about time, Ryan. It's about effort. That night we didn't eat. The food went cold on the table, and the bottle of wine stayed unopened. When I went to bed, she stayed in the living room. I lay there listening to the faint vibration of her phone from the couch. Buzz. Then another. Then silence. I told myself not to think about it. But at 1:07 a.m., when the sound came again, I couldn't stop myself. I walked out quietly, barefoot on the wooden floor, and saw the glow of her phone screen lighting her face. She was smiling. She didn't see me. Her thumbs moved fast. She giggled under her breath, that soft, familiar sound she hadn't made around me in months. I didn't want to believe it. I turned and went back to bed, my body shaking. The next morning she acted normal, too normal. Cheerful, humming while making breakfast, as if last night hadn't happened. "You want eggs?" she asked, her voice bright. I forced a smile. "No, I'm good." Her eyes flicked up to me briefly, testing, like she was searching for cracks in my mask. Then she smiled again, relieved when she didn't find any. Over the next few days, the signs multiplied. She dressed differently for work. More perfume, more effort. She guarded her phone like it was made of gold. When I asked who she was texting, she'd shrug. "Just co-workers." One evening I decided to test something. I walked up behind her while she was on her phone and said softly, "Who's making you smile like that?" Her body stiffened. She turned startled. "No one. It's a meme." "Show me." Her expression hardened. "Don't start this again, Ryan." The room went cold. I stared at her, trying to find the woman I'd married somewhere behind the stranger standing in front of me. "You said your ex never made you feel unappreciated. Are you sure that's not because you're talking to him again?" Her face drained of color. "What? Well, why would you even say that?" "Because I can tell when you're lying." She opened her mouth, but no sound came out. Then quietly, "You're imagining things." But I wasn't. The next night I followed her. She said she was meeting her friend Lisa for dinner. I parked a block away from the restaurant and waited. After 15 minutes, she arrived, hair perfectly done, dressed too elegant for a casual night out. She checked her phone, smiled, and went inside. When she reached the booth, my stomach turned. The man who stood to greet her wasn't Lisa. He was taller, dressed sharp, familiar. I'd seen him before, in an old picture from her college days. Her ex. They hugged. Too long. Too close. My hands trembled on the steering wheel as I watched her laugh, her face glowing in the candlelight. The kind of smile I thought was gone forever. The kind I thought she'd lost. I wanted to burst in, to shout, to demand an explanation. But I didn't. I drove home instead, my vision blurring with tears I didn't want to admit were there. When she returned later that night, she looked radiant. Dinner was nice, she said casually, kicking off her heels. Did Lisa enjoy her pasta? Yes. Her eyes snapped to me, startled. What? I said, did Lisa enjoy her pasta? She swallowed hard. Yeah, course. Why? I stared at her until she couldn't hold the silence anymore. Her lips began to quiver. Then she whispered, Ryan, please don't do this tonight. Do what? Make me the bad guy. That broke me. You already did that yourself. The next morning I packed a small bag. She stood in the doorway, tears streaking down her cheeks. Where are you going? I don't know. Away. Please don't leave like this. You told me your ex never made you feel unappreciated. Maybe you should go find out if he still makes you feel seen. She reached out, but I stepped back. For the first time she looked small, frightened. Ryan, I made a mistake, she whispered. I looked at her, really looked, and for a moment I saw the woman I used to love, the one who laughed at my terrible jokes, the one who believed in us. But she'd buried that woman herself. So did I said quietly. I believed you. Then I left. Days passed. She called, texted, begged me to come home. I ignored her. Until one night I got a call from Lisa. She's not doing well, Lisa said softly. She's been crying non-stop. She hasn't eaten. I think she regrets everything. I hung up without a word. That night I couldn't sleep. Guilt gnawed at me, whispering that maybe I'd gone too far, that maybe walking away wasn't strength, it was escape. 2 days later I went back. The apartment was dark except for the flicker of the TV. She was sitting on the floor, wrapped in a blanket, eyes swollen. When she saw me, she broke down completely. I ended it, she sobbed. With him. I told him I can't do it. I was just lonely. I thought you didn't care anymore. I was wrong. I knelt beside her. For a long moment, neither of us spoke. Then I said, I don't know if I can forgive you. I don't expect you to, she whispered. But I can't forgive myself either. We sat there, broken pieces of something that once was whole, surrounded by the ghosts of what we destroyed. Sometimes love dies quietly. Other times it shatters like glass, loud, final, and impossible to ignore.